Welcome, everyone, to the Tuesday morning Moose Minute edition. That right, the Moose Minute Project, brought to you by the Silverado Studios. That's because the heated back is on and heated seats and just quite comfortable where I can sit here. So, with that said, welcome to the Moose Minute Project. And the second annual is in the plannings and is going to happen of Marcie's Strikeout Alzheimer's Baker 4-person shootout. It was such an event, got done with the bank, and guess what? Because of human error, that's why we go to banks, that's why we trust banks, that's why I go to People's Community Bank or Richland County Bank. But I have my stuff with People's Community because I like those all there. Mom had all her stuff at Richland County because that's where she was comfortable. I'm comfortable either way. They do good job both ways, Richland County or People's. But my accounts are at People's. So I walk in there today with the bank bag, and of course the staff there, always helpful, always grateful. Like I said yesterday, we were shy of $5,000 by about $100, so we thought. Unbelievable news. I was hoping to make, Roxanne we kept battering back and forth, just talking about, what's our goal, what's our hopes. Her and I said if we make $1,000, if we make $1,500, we are going to be ecstatic for Alzheimer's. Well, when everything cleared, everything wrote out on paper, the check that will be given to the Alzheimer's Association on Thursday will be live on WRCO for the morning show at 9 o'clock on Thursday morning. That check is going to be $5,133 going to the Alzheimer's Association. I'm baffled and just stunned at the amount of people that have supported this and helped with so many ways of making sure the knowledge and stuff is passed on for Alzheimer's and dementia. I've heard about it. I knew about it when I was young. A very close bowling friend and a businessman in Aiken had it, Chuck Ziske. That's the first time I ever saw somebody with it, of leaving with bowling shoes on, or, people finding him parked at his old family farm, or whatever it may be, and you go, boy, I sure hope nobody has to go through that. Sure hope nobody has to go through it. And that's really in Minnesota the only person that I knew that had it, that anybody talked about. And then Mom got diagnosed with it in 2020. And in her mind, if she got dementia, good gosh, she's going to be dead. She had Alzheimer's. I was waiting for the opposite. I was waiting for her to hear she had Alzheimer's and the train was going to leave the tracks. And it didn't. It was if she got told she had dementia. So we could never use that word around her, really. They're the same. They're under the same umbrella. They have the same basic outcome. There's going to be various stages of it. But now you're starting people to really talk about it. You're seeing now Phil Robertson, the head of, Duck Commander, the inventor of the first big duck call that went national and went viral, as they should say now in the world. But he now has it, and his family is talking about it. Bruce Willis has frontal dementia, which is the same category, only probably stronger, and it all affects the brain differently. Pam summed it up very well on the radio the last time, that it's basically a cancer diagnosis. Only you're going to have is different things that happen. It still affects the brain. It still has pretty much the same outcomes. It's just how long is it going to take, or is it a slow progress, or is it a fast progress? If we'd have got Mom diagnosed earlier, could we have delayed some of the erosion that happens so fast? I don't know. It's in the past. But I took this challenge on, and my wife summed it up very well in my post on my Facebook page. I took this challenge on for a reason. I needed a way to grieve. I needed a way to help move forward. I needed a way to feel like I have honored my mom in memory of her fighting this disease as hard as she did. And I think we did it. $5,133 will be given to Alzheimer's Association on air on Thursday the 11th. I think the 11th is Thursday. Again, my days are running together. But the second annual is already in the works. November is Alzheimer's Awareness Month. I believe we are looking at November 8th. November 8th would be the second Saturday of the month. A lot of people that were at bowling said, Chris, do whatever you do, don't do it on the first Saturday of a month. It's very hard. If I go past the 8th, we're near that Thanksgiving mark and those kind of things. November 8th, people are back in school. Bowling has already been going on for a while. I think we'll skip all the major tournaments that are going on, such as state and everything else. Plus, we're doing it during the month of National Alzheimer's Awareness. So, tentatively booked right now. And for the teams that bowled in it, if you're watching this and you are looking at the date and you think November 8th will work, shoot me a message to lock your spot up. Again, taking 12 teams, going to take the top 8. These are all changes I've made in the last few days. I'm going to take the top 8 into a double elimination bracket. That's where we're at. Going to pay down the same amount of spots. So one person's going to make the cut. Unless I change it to 8 and we adjust there, that you get a little money back for making the cut. But 1,000 to win still. I think it was a great weekend for Greg and Amy at the bowling alley. I think it was a great weekend for bowlers in general to get together. We had 51 sponsors total. Next year, I've already got one sponsor locked in. Diane Nodigal. She made cheesecakes for this one. We will be talking about her cheesecakes because they are by far superior on the planet. Greg Shep was extremely excited that he won one because he said they are phenomenal. So Diane's will be on the silent auction for November 8th. I got to shoot her a text right after this to let her know the date. But right now, that is the date that I have pretty well scheduled. Will be November 8th. That way it doesn't conflict with gun deer season. That way it doesn't afflict with any of the holiday seasons. Needless to say, 2 weeks or so before Christmas, having Mom's fundraiser, and we raised $5,100 or $5,133. Says a lot about our small community. And I did door knock on a lot, but I did send messages out. And the businesses were just glad to be on board. So tune in Thursday, the 11th at 9 o'clock on WRCO. The state representative for Alzheimer's will be here in Wisconsin. I'm hoping. I sent her a message. She said she was checking today. I'll know more with an email there. But then I'll have also Pam, the Eagle Country representative for Alzheimer. I'm going to send her a message. Hopefully Roxanne will be involved. And then we'll go to the bowling alley after the radio program, and probably have a lunch there with Greg and Amy and them just to say thank you. Because it's so important. Greg and Amy, what they did at the Phoenix Center for hosting the event, for bringing extra help on, doing lunch specials. That is why living in a small town is so vital, and it's so important. Do I wish I lived in a bigger community to where we could raise a lot more? I wish we'd, $1 million, but for raising $5,000 and $5,133 to be exact, because I did get that out of the bank, and the check is sitting in a bank bag waiting to be delivered on Thursday in 7 hours, is unbelievable. And I want to thank my wife, Roxanne. She is my rock. She is by far. If she thought I was somewhat crazy for taking on this huge thing, and I did it pretty much alone, setting it up. Actual running it to completion, it took my kids, my wife, my dad, all of those it took to finish it, to get it to completion. It took family. And yep, my dad was involved. My mom and dad split when I was 9. So 41 years ago, they split. But he was still involved in my mom's life. My mom was still involved with all of us because of the grandkids and the kids. They united for that reason. So he built a bird feeder, or a oriole feeder, and a double bunk birdhouse for the bag raffles. And the people were in awe that they got to have actually homemade items. John Green, all these people. Diane Nodigal called me out of the blue because it's affecting her family now. Alzheimer's is. And when she first called, I didn't know who she was, because I'm used to Mrs. Nodigal. I'm used to teachers with the first name still. I can't do. It's Mrs. and Mr. Just like Mr. Lake is still Mr. Lake. It's hard for me to say Bob. It's just Mr. Lake. That's how it is. And it's how it should be. It's how our kids should be raised too. Is Mr. and Mrs. No first initial, no first name. They need the respect. They've earned it. And that's where it should be. But I wanted to update everybody like I said I would. So we raised $5,133 on Saturday at the bowling alley, and that will be given to the Alzheimer's Association on Thursday, the 11th, on air at WRCO. And, after that, we'll meet at the bowling alley, or I'll get a hold of Greg and Amy and see how we can do there. But it was an undertaking I wanted to do. It's needed something I needed to do. And after the tournament was over, everybody asked if we were going to do it again. And when you go in the first time I guess I was called a tournament director. I don't know. I just did something for my mom. So when you're running a tournament on your own and first time really setting one up, you tweak things, you do things. But when everybody wants it again, that's what happens. We're going to have a second annual. It'll be in November 8th. That way all the summer activities will happen. You'll be back to bowling like normal. We'll have a few weeks into bowling like normal. So if the teams that were in it before want to be in again, shoot me a message. Again, it'll be November 8th. I'll hit up businesses later on after we get past all this that were sponsors before. I truly appreciate all of you. I've posted on my Facebook page all of the sponsors that were involved. If their name is in blue and you click on them, it takes you to their page. You can follow them for their things that they've got going on. Again, I'll mention TKO downtown. Tim and the crew there, awesome job, awesome pizzas, awesome take and bake pizzas too if you call ahead. Turbos, Honker and Sportsman's, Lonesome Dove, Phoenix Center, just so many of people. JJ Walsh to, like I said, I think there's 51 sponsors on my page that took over and help me handle this. The Port in Blue River, New Horizons in Blue River, Quick Trip in downtown. So again, I'm beyond blessed. I took this with the hope of making $1,000 or so bucks. That's really all I could ask for. And to come out of there with $5,133 is utterly amazing. So again, thank everybody. And I can't thank, again, my sponsors without enough. All the salons that donated stuff. It was just crazy. And my dad and the farmer's daughter in Blue River, my dad and John Granger, them guys that made homemade stuff and donated it, and Sandy Granger for the cook set, and, you know, Anna Arms and Susan Price, all of those, you know, with artwork and things that just did a phenomenal thing for me. And of course, the big doorbuster of them all was the autographed jersey by EJ Tackett. That went for $400. I was shocked. I knew it was going to go well. EJ in the pro world is a stud of all studs. And he will go down as probably one of the greatest bowlers of all time, too. I mean, along with, you know, he'll be in the talks with Norm Duke and Walter Ray and those kind of guys. He's just the new version. So to have his autographed jersey was phenomenal. I don't know if I'll be able to pull that one off again. I don't know. Verity Crawley, the woman's pro bowler, to have her signed cards, ecstatic. So again, thank you for tuning in this morning. It definitely boosted my week. It boosted my mentality. It just helped me know that I did the right thing for my mom. So with the holiday season coming, take time to bless somebody else's day. If you know anybody struggling, you know anything like that, help them out in any way you can, whether it's a bag of groceries to buying gifts for their kids. You know, like I've mentioned before, Bill and Nina Shafee, when I still lived in Minnesota and we were struggling as a young couple, with Tanya and I before, you know, way before, when Isaac was little, Bill and Nina Shafee ended up at our house with a bag full of Christmas gifts for the kids. It was the world. It meant the world to us. And it gave me the drive to do the same thing to others. So there are people out there right now willing to do that. Morris Heating and Cooling did it with Christmas trees the other day, or I saw the post that they were doing that with Christmas trees. Rugged Altitude, Brian Keister, they are blessed. They bless a family every year or two. You know, take time to do that. It's the world to anybody, and it means the world. Doesn't have to be money. But a lot of times they don't even want toys. They just want warm clothes or whatever it may be for their kids to have a safe portion of it. So thank you all again. And again, tune into WRCO on Thursday at 9:00. We'll be discussing Alzheimer's and more then. So thank you all very much. And again, to my wife and my family, I don't know what else to say except I love you all. And it was an awesome adventure. And the second annual will happen. So with that said, have a great day. Take time to bless somebody. And may the holiday season be a blessing to you as well.